Welcome to Realty Talk. How you doing?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, hanging in there, trying to make it happen. I wanted to talk to you because you're super interesting and exciting.
Oh, thank you.
So you've been with Investor Realty the whole time you've been an agent, which is a whopping 11 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a crusher. So I want to know your story. I want to know you. I want to know your story, where you came from, the whole bit, how you got into the business, the whole shebang. So start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, before real estate, it was all softball. So I played softball since I was 4 years old till college. So it was a long time. Where would I start? So pretty much growing up, like I said, my life revolved around softball. So high school, I didn't have the typical childhood, I guess. But before I start, I do want to say thank you to my parents. I was very blessed, and they helped out tremendously. When I was younger, I was not really allowed to go to parties, do all that stuff. It was all softball. I did try many sports out, but it was just softball. That's all I liked. And it was funny because my dad is the sports one. Love you, Mom, but she's not the sports one. But she found softball out for me. She found the league. So it all started because of her. And I loved it. My dad tagged along, and he's coached me since I think I was 6 years old. And then all in high school and travel ball.
So let's go back. And you're born and raised here, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, you're good. Born and raised here. Grew up in Chula Vista.
Yes.
Okay, so all right, that's cool. And then you got into softball super early. Your mom found it for you, and your dad became obsessive with it.
Yes, he
Tell me
loved
about
it just as much as us. Yeah, so pretty much I was all in for it. I didn't want to play any other sports. It took to the extent of I would go to LA for tournaments. I would go to, my practices were up in, Vista area. So I would go to school. After school, I would have like hitting lessons or some kind of lessons. Then after that, I would go straight to, Vista, whatever that practice was at. And then I would come home to like 10 o'clock. And then I would be starting my homework.
Your homework and all that?
Yes.
Wow. So by the time you were like elementary school, middle school, high school, so you're pretty good.
So I already had hitting lessons. I already had running, training, weights, everything.
What'd you play?
What do you mean?
What position?
I originally started softball as a pitcher. But
okay, well, cheers to that, huh? Well, number one, cheers me, because you're a crusher. You're a crusher.
Thank you. But
that's
that didn't
better.
last too long, unfortunately. I tore my rotator cuff pretty young.
Oh, bummer.
Pitching.
When?
Like 10 years old.
Oh, my God.
Very
That's super young.
Yes. And unfortunately, because of that, they told me, oh, you can't play. I didn't take no as an answer. So what I decided to do is play second base because it's less on my, strain on my arm. So I fell in love with second base. I played second base my whole life. And in college, I became more of a versatile player. So I play second and outfield, but my go-to is second base.
Wow. Okay, cool. So that's a really good deal. And then so you are in middle school, I guess elementary to middle school, right? 10 years old, tore the rotator cuff, physical therapy, surgery. What happened?
Physical therapy. And then thankfully I didn't have to do surgery. Just therapy, and I got right back into it.
That's great. How long did it take?
I think almost a month. Well, I mean, kind of played a little too soon, but I wanted to play. I was a player that one time I fractured my ankle, and I left my boot in the car, and I would go practice, and then I'll come back and put the boot back on. I did not like playing. It wasn't in me. I was missing out of playing. I had to play. So, yeah.
Okay, so then you started high school. Come on, baby. Give me the details. Give me the deets. I want to know. I want to know about you and how you navigated from middle school to high school. What gave you the motivation? What kept you with softball? What made your life? You know what I mean? What made Reyna Reyna? You know what I mean? In your forming years.
I adapted a lot. So elementary, I was in the Bonita area, and I was just one of those people that talked a lot. I could make a best friend like this. So that's one of my biggest characteristics. I like that, I could adapt to anything. So I went to Bonita, And then in middle school, we moved, so I had to switch to Eastlake Middle. So I left, had to leave all my friends. I was all sad. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so then I went to Eastlake Middle, and then I loved it, fell in love with everybody, made friends, adapting to now travel ball. That's when middle school is the age you start doing travel ball. So my travel ball friends were all up north. So, again, different friends up there, over here. So there's a lot of adapting. Then, because of my sister, she was training soccer at Mater Dei. My dad fell in love with it. It's a college it's private school. And my dad fell in love.
Mater Dei in San Diego, not Mater Dei in.
yes, in Chula Vista. And one day he just told me, well, I was too sociable, so I was getting distracted around like 8th grade. Too social butterfly, my dad would say. I was getting distracted.
Was it the boys?
No, I just was, wanted to be in the in crowd too much, So I was getting distracted from softball. I just wanted to just not focus on the real, important stuff. I just wanted to go hang out with friends and just be out and about and not, focus. So my dad just noticed that. So he's like, you know what? It's time to go to private school.
Oh.
I was like, wait, what? Because as you know, when you're in private school, you don't like public. And if you're in public school, you don't like private. It's completely different, So I had to adapt to now going to high school, not knowing anybody. I literally knew 2 people because of softball. That was it. And mind you, it's a private Catholic school.
Are you Catholic?
I mean, I was baptized Catholic, but my religion was softball, if I could say it like that. So
sure
my Sundays were out of the softball field.
Wow.
So that it was just a huge adjustment, just knowing 2 people. My middle school was around 800 people, and my middle school was bigger than my whole high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went from just, a lot of people to barely any people, barely just knowing 2 people, now learning about, religion, and it was just a big, big change from what I was used to. And then, but I was still stubborn in the beginning.
Well, obviously.
I was on purpose, messing up my grades, hoping to go back to Eastlake High School. I wanted to go to Eastlake. And my dad, being an amazing dad and being a strict dad, said, I don't care, figure it out. You're not going back. You're not going to Eastlake High. So I'm like, well, now I digged myself in a hole because I was behind in credits. I was thinking that was going to work, and it didn't work. So coming in my sophomore year, it was end of freshman year into sophomore year, I found out that San Diego State was into me, as in softball. And I was like, oh, shoot. Well,
this is Division I college softball recruiting.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just put this in perspective, because I think you're just kind of glazing over the fact that you've been playing since you were 4.
Yes.
You're not okay at this game. You're good you're damn good at this game, and you're getting recruited by Division I colleges. Let me just make sure that we're clear on that. Okay. Continue. So sophomore year.
Yeah, so my top 2 schools were into me. That's when I started finding out, because you're not allowed to talk to them till junior year. So they have to communicate through either your travel ball coach or your parents. So at that time, I was really into Santa Barbara and San Diego State and Fullerton. And my dad's like, well, at first I thought he was lying, because he's like, oh, just to make sure she gets a great grade. But then obviously time would go by, I was playing my game, softball, our friendlies and tournaments, and they would be there. So I'm like, oh, okay.
It's legit.
I need to switch my switch and get serious, because you can't mess around, And
well, guys, you're 15 at this point.
Yes, 15, 16.
That's crazy.
So I was like, wow, okay, I need to get my beat
together.
I need to get my shit together,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So sophomore year is when I saw, was trying harder and getting my grades back together, and, still killing at softball. Thankfully, softball was never the issue. It was more just taking the social side out of everything and focusing, balancing it more. I was younger, and all I cared about the social life. I thought that's all that mattered. So finally that happened. And
it's not finally, you're 15, 16. That's a big transition to say, I'm putting my social life that encompasses a lot of people, especially nowadays, with the social media, with the class structure of, high school and the hierarchy, in the cliques and all the crap that goes with it. you're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm good. I'm going to focus on my future and to really buckle down and do that. So that's super great, Reyna. Super commendable.
Thank you. A lot of people don't understand being a student athlete is not easy. They, like you said, like, they see all the good sides of it, but, I was taught, because I was taught from the beginning, very young, that I knew softball was my way in to college. Mind you, I'm the first one to go to college in my family, my whole family, and from both sides. And it was something I was taught, so I knew from early that what I did impacted a lot of decisions in my life. So like you said, usually people at 15, 16 are having fun, going to, parties, high school, but it was a big sacrifice, but it was well worth it later on. So like I said, I was not allowed to go to parties. I wasn't allowed to do, most high school stuff, but well worth it once I found out that sophomore year, I got an offer, a scholarship to San Diego State. So once I got that, everything didn't matter to me. I was just like grind mode, because sophomore year, you're not officially signed, so you're committed. So I still could lose it, so it's not set in stone. So grind mode my whole life, whole high school, and then went to San Diego State.
Let's go. How was that? Did you move on to campus? Like, tell me about that life.
Yes, I was blessed because most people from San Diego are not able to because everything is so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I was blessed that I was able to be on campus, and the best year was my freshman year, just because you stay in a sports dorm. So it's called UT.
Ooh, UT.
UT, exactly. So it was so much fun, just meeting everybody, and, we're always taught backwards. I mean, as in school to get you a softball, and then you're finally living like your softball dream is crazy, because now softball is more like the biggest picture when you get to college, because that's now your job.
Right.
So it was amazing. Like, okay, now it's all about the softball. Don't get me wrong. School's important, guys, but you know what I mean? I finally can live out my dream. So it was amazing. It was so much fun. Breathe it. Yes. I was playing softball more than it was in the actual classroom. It was crazy. You wake up at 4 or 5, you go to weight room, then you go to class at usually 8 o'clock. You would get the morning classes. Then we had practice to 1 to 4. And then after, you have your night class from 6:40 to 9:40. And then you can finally do your homework and finally eat and actually sleep,
Damn, Reyna, I'm telling you, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because, when we go in the weight room, we see sororities and frats partying, and we're barely going to the gym.
Hey, fraternities, sororities and sororities, fraternities. Yeah. You got to say the whole thing.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's a different lifestyle, but it was so much fun. Well worth it.
So, and were you like, oh yeah, let's just, I'm in, I can go party now?
That's the funny thing, because that's the first thing everybody was warning me about.
Hell yeah.
Especially San Diego State.
I get it. I did that. I was that guy.
Exactly. So again, like I said, there is pros and cons about being a student athlete. It's not now, like I said earlier, it's not a job. It's not a sport anymore. It's a job. So if you don't perform, you lose your scholarship. You don't perform, you don't play. You don't perform, you may have to transfer schools. It's a lot that people don't realize. So not all athletes can experience the partying life, enjoying the full student experience. Yeah. Yes, there's perks. Don't get me wrong. But you're almost kind of too scared to go partying, because we will get drug tested. If we showed up, we had to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. We had games. We traveled. We got tested all the time. Our coach would be on us about drinking. If we got caught hungover, whatever, that could be your scholarship.
Could be it right
there.
It's
not worth it.
It's not worth it.
You worked your whole life, literally, especially me, playing since 4.
Yeah.
Some girls literally play their whole life for this. It's the furthest you can go in, girls softball.
Really?
Yes. Now they have, they're starting pro leagues now.
Cool.
When I was in school, we didn't have that. So that was the furthest you can go.
So you're at the highest echelon you can be in your craft.
Yes, at that time, yeah. So it's a lot of pressure. You have to perform. Wow. You got to keep a certain GPA, or else you lose your scholarship. Everything's on the line.
So you're into your college experience. Freshman year, sophomore year, you're killing it. Tell me as the tail end of college and you're exiting San Diego State, what's the plan?
So around my junior year, I started working only, obviously, because it was my job. I didn't work another job. I did have another job, but it was on breaks pretty much. So I worked at Viejas Arena there. So I worked at Viejas Arena, and I also did the sports events. So I did all the events when it was my off seasons or, winter break and stuff like that. But that's when I started to study for my license.
What license?
Real estate license. We got to it, guys. My real estate license, and I was internshipping at my dad's company at the time.
You can say names. It's not going to hurt you.
But it was investment realty.
Uh-huh.
And so I started as an assistant, answering phones, and thankfully, because of my dad, I knew the vocab already. I was aware of it. It was just difficult to really actually study for my test because I was still a student athlete. I'm still trying to get my degree. I'm still trying to perform in softball. So I didn't finish as fast as I wanted to, so I delayed it till after college. It was just too much to juggle at that time.
That's good. Okay, so when did you graduate?
2019.
Look at you. That's not that far away.
December 2019, right before COVID.
Oh.
Literally right before COVID. So we didn't have a ceremony because it was COVID.
What?
So even the next year, and then they actually ended up having one, but it was like
So
2 years after I graduated. So I was like, there's no point in going into it now.
So you graduated May of 20?
No, December of 19.
December of 19?
Yeah. So I finished that semester ahead. So I had, for some universities, they do 2 commencements, but ours is not until May.
Not until
May.
I
had to wait till May.
Yeah, so you finished in December of 19. We're going to walk in May of 20, but the world shut down.
But, what happened.
Bummer.
And then even the year after that, they didn't have commencement as well. The following years when they did one at Petco Park. But I'm like, at that point,
I remember that happening.
Yeah, I was like, well, at that point, it's been like a year and a half or 2 years. I'm like, I'm
good.
I'm fine. I'm fine now.
I was hammered when I walked. I was a whole bottle of Johnny Walker in. I walked at 8 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was brutal.
See, I was so happy because it's usually at the Viejas Arena.
Yeah.
And obviously I have the hookup for it. So I was able to, see all my, my friends, my coworkers, and get some extra tickets because, they almost limit you to like 4 tickets a family, which is crazy. But yeah, I was excited, but, things happen for a reason. And unfortunately, that's another thing when you're in spring sports. Sometimes years before me, the seniors miss their walk because they're playing in regionals.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that's another thing to keep in mind, yeah.
Look at you. Okay, so you graduated, you crushed it. Then when did you get your real estate license? And then have you always wanted your real estate license? Was this the plan to go into real estate the full time?
So I always loved real estate. I just didn't know what exactly. And try not to cry.
It's okay.
My aunt that just passed away, she led me to that direction. So she's just like, Reyna, because I didn't really watch cartoon stuff. I watched HGTV. Yeah. I just loved real estate. I would drive all around. Like whoever was driving me at the time, I'm like, can we go see these houses? Can I see that? Like I just loved it. I just didn't know in what field exactly. And my aunt brought it up to me, and I was like more into it because, again, I'm young at this time. And I had to think about this beforehand because, obviously, college, you have to figure out your degree. So I'm like 15. I'm like, I don't even know what I want to do. I know real estate, but what, So as time passed by, I realized, you know what? I want to do that. Heck yeah. Okay. That seems really cool. It's fun. I love real estate. Obviously, I really loved it, but I wanted to be my own boss for sure. I did not want to work for anybody. Of course, when you first get your first job, I knew that. But my career did not want to work for anybody. I am going to be my own boss. No matter if it was real estate at first or not, I did not want to work with anybody else.
Good. Okay. So, and if I remember right, so you got your license, about a year ago?
Yes.
11 months-ish ago?
Ish.
Ish, right? I'm ishing right now.
It was it was Cinco de Mayo. That's how I remember.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah, a little over a year.
Okay. So it's actually 11 months because it's end of April right now.
No, going on 2 years.
Is it 2 years?
Yes.
Damn, girl.
Yeah,
Okay, see, time is sprinting by me.
Because my first year, it was kind of COVID still, so I wasn't full-time, but I did full-time this past year for the first full-time for a year already. But before that, I didn't because of COVID.
Right.
Yeah, so going 2 years.
I remember you being part-time because I've been a broker there, the broker there for what, 2.5, 3, almost 3 years?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was part-time.
Yeah. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to, because you were doing something else. And it was like, all right, I'm going to go full bore into this and dedication. I was like, okay, just know you've got to have a system. And we sat down, we made a system together. I said, how much you want to make?
Yep.
And I remember vividly, you're like, oh, I want to make $100,000. I was like, you got it. No problem. And we just backed into it, right?
And I did.
And we said, okay, if you want $100,000, that's, what was it, like 8 deals or something?
Yes.
It was like 8. We mathed it out. It was 8 deals. Out of 8 deals, how many phone calls did you have to make every day?
We set it all down.
And
I beat the goal.
And you crushed it. You went from, your goal was 8, and you did what?
10.
10, your first full-time real estate year. And in most of the industry, you have if people are full-time, 1, 2, 3, 4
lucky
deals a year.
Yeah.
And you crushed it your real first 2 years in real estate doing 10. So that got you what? In the circle of excellence.
Yep.
With STR. So tell me about that. Tell me about the grind. Tell me about what you were doing, what projects did you do, and then how was it feeling getting the award?
Well, at first it was very scary because, like I said, it was COVID, and everyone was just getting back on their feet. So I went back to my job at that time, part job time, and which later on became full time, and had a good time. It was amazing. But then I was finally picking up my real estate, so got to the point where I was actually kind of losing more money.
Yeah.
Because I was getting busy, so you have to pay other agents to show your property, or you can't make it, and it looks more bad on you. And I wasn't as flexible. And then I got a sign and realized, you know what, I have to do it.
You got a sign?
Yes.
What was your sign?
Something happened in my other job, my part-time job, which gave me more motive to leave.
Okay, that's called a fuck this shit moment. You're like,
yes.
I'm over it.
Yes. So I was just like, it was amazing. It was amazing, but I was like, I'm losing too much money. This is not worth it.
Fuck that.
No, I could be making triple right now.
Okay, that's the threshold. People that they strive to get there in real estate. They're like, oh, I'm doing real estate part time. Like when I met you, I was a real estate 1 day a week, 1 day for like 3 hours a day. That's all I was doing real estate for. And I was doing 1 or 2 deals a year, and then I went to become broker with you guys, and it was like I started to dedicate, again, 1 day a week, 6 hours. It wasn't a whole lot. And then the snowball started to happen. Now we start doing deals. Now it's like 1 deal goes to 2, turns to 4, turns to 8, turns to 12. Yeah. All of a sudden you're in double-digit land. And I'm like, shit, I got another job that I'm working too. So I totally feel you. And I was like, hey, Reyna, can you show these properties? I'll give you $1,000, whatever it is, to show properties. Right. And that was kind of getting you started moving. And now you're like, man, you're running out of time.
Yes.
So now you're like, well, who do I get to find? And we got, Carlos, we got all these different people coming in and showing properties. So it's exciting.
Yes.
But it's also that transitionary period from doing it all yourself to getting your team.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, the blessing at Investment Realty Homes and Loans was, one, what you just said was, helping. I love the buyer side, and helping you out gave me more experience, more leads, more just how do you say it, like the ball going.
Yeah.
And then as well as having an in-house investor. That was probably my first 2
and it's your dad.
Closing. And
he's buying your deals.
So that really helped me get the ball rolling and getting your mojo going,
Yeah.
And that's just, you don't get that every day at some brokerages, So
Yeah.
I was very blessed from starting to that till now. I think I might need another phone, or I think I might need to get a team under me, So it's been a blessing because I'm already almost past my 10 from last year.
Okay, so you're already at 10 this year.
I'm almost there. I'm at 6.
Okay.
And I have 2 active.
2 active, ready to go. And then you have escrows?
Hopefully today.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully today, and then 1 buyer.
Wow. And this is in April. This is just wrapping up Q1 and entering Q2, and you're already at your entire years last year.
Yeah.
See, that's phenomenal. And I hope this is like, invigorating for people to when they hear this, they're like, shit, if she can do it, I can do it, but it takes time, effort, money, energy, and the discipline. And what people really lack, especially in running their own business, like you said, be your own boss, is the discipline and the schedule.
Yes. I think the biggest thing in real estate is a misconception as they think it's selling sunset.
Shit.
They think it's glam. Like
my wife loves that show.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I watch it all the time. But I mean, it's a reality show. It shows you the glam of real estate. Just like everything, there's two sides to everything. So I have a lot of friends that reach out or I see people, getting on the train because it's trendy. Mm-hmm. Real estate's not one of those careers that you jump on just because it's trendy. Mm-hmm. And I think what helped me was softball. It helped me time management, grinding, staying motivated. And it just helped me be dedicated to something like that. And I realized if you're trying to get into real estate for the wrong reasons, you're not going to make money. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be an amazing agent like your client should deserve.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing I see in real estate is the glam side. Oh, fast money, it's glam, it's beautiful homes, but you got to put some hard work. If you don't, you're your own boss. If you don't put in the hours, you don't make anything. You don't get clients. You don't see beautiful homes. And it's not easy always. Cold calling. That I'm working on that.
It's tough. It's a tough
not
business.
Easy always to go door knock or putting yourself out there. It's not. So you have to make sure if it is for you or not.
Right. Okay, so we were talking about, the hard work, the effort it takes to actually get into the industry and work through just your first couple of deals because it's hard to get the momentum going. What were you doing that was setting you apart that nobody else is probably doing to get those deals?
I was sending cash offers for my dad.
Yeah.
I was door knocking.
Okay.
I was cold calling, which I could have done more. Still working on that one. And everything's perfect. I know that. What else? I was investing a lot of money.
How much?
No one talks about that.
How much? Come on.
A lot. Because
was there a comma?
Yes, a lot of commas.
So was there?
No one talks about that. You have to put a lot of money before you make money. I knew it was, some money, but I didn't realize, just your fees alone. Mm-hmm. And then advertisement, so your photographer, your staging, your signs, if you're paying now, social media marketer, if you're
totally.
Your websites, if this past weekend, I got a little mini pancakes cart, from open house to attract more people. It's the extra stuff that people don't do. So, it's a lot of money that adds up that they don't realize.
So that's super insightful. I want to know the actual numbers. Like how many doors did you knock? How many offers did you write?
I don't know. It just depends.
Ballpark.
My minimum I try to do is at least 100 for door knocking. Minimum.
100 every time you go out.
Yes, minimum. It just depends on the area
and how many times. 100 doors, Reyna?
Yeah.
Damn, girl.
Is that bad?
No, are you kidding me? That's bad. Well, because most people are saying, hey, I can knock 10 doors and be good.
And then when Carlitos comes out and helps me, he does 100. So we do 200 each.
Okay. So 100 each. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you were writing cash offers. How many of those were you writing?
So that just depends on the market and how many my dad likes. Yeah. So I will send as many flips or potential flips I can see on, and I'll send it to him. Mm-hmm. And I try to be on every day. Latest is every other day. Yeah. And then
but how many of those on average?
Like 20 to 40.
Offers.
Offers. It very like 10.
Yeah, 10
each time
offers.
I send them out.
Yeah, so
and
probably,
it depends because not all of them he may not like.
Yeah, like so.
Or it doesn't make sense.
Like 10 a day.
Mm-hmm, give
10,
or take.
10 every other day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the volume of what you're talking about is it seems like it's a lot. I mean, if you really think about it, and if you just have a system in place, like a template, that's what we worked on together.
Yes.
Right. The templates, where we had a cash offer template, we changed the address, we changed the price, we changed, one or two basic terms. Correct. But how long would it take you to write an offer once you have the template?
Like 2 minutes, if that. A minute, probably.
Right.
Yeah, if that.
It's a system. It's a process. It's how do you get successful is you have, people, process, and technology. And that's what it's all about. So I just want to make sure that it's not lost on people that it's a volume game.
Yes.
And you're killing it in the volume game because you're putting in the hours, but you're making your time more efficient by using your processes.
Yes.
Good.
Well, investing in, I have help with my open house signs. So it's another investment I do. Saves me time. So I have like a back-to-back.
How many open house signs do you have?
20.
20. All right. See, this is the volume game I'm talking about.
Yes, I have 20.
Why do you have 20?
Because I want my face everywhere. That's literally what it was. And I remember in the beginning, I was kind of scared about it. I'm like, I want my face everywhere. It's weird. Now, blast that everywhere. I do not care. You get past the uncomfortable. I want to make sure that I'm doing the most I can and I'm putting my face out there. And I've noticed it's been helping. My recent listing, I had 3 people come up to me and said, oh, I was asking, are you interested in buying? And they're like, honestly, I can buy because I keep seeing your signs everywhere. I was just interested.
Perfect.
And I've been seeing that a lot. So it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing, getting myself out there, blasting my face. It's making a statement.
Brand.
Exactly.
It's your personal brand that people are seeing and the edification that you are everywhere.
Yes.
And it's you are doing, it's because your face is everywhere, you are successful.
Correct.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, you just got to get yourself out there. This other listing I had, I knew I had to do something different. I had the hurdle of, before me, they had another agent and it was sitting for 6 months. So
what do you think it was sitting for 6 months?
It was listed way too high.
Okay.
And house is beautiful, very beautiful, but there's still some things that need to be done too. So it was just, the numbers didn't add up to what it should have sold for. And once I took it on, I said, okay, well, even though it's a new agent, new listing, the agents that do the research and everyone that does they're going to know it's still been on the market before me. So I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to make this stand out and do something different? Because I have a big hurdle. So before me, she told me that the most people that were there at the open house were 6. When I took over, not this past weekend following, 33 people.
In one showing?
In one open house.
One open house? One day.
This is one day. And then just recently, this past Sunday, I reached 35. So it matters who you work with, no matter what you do. You know, I invest in collaborating with Barry Valor and how you make pancakes, blasting that. She's blasting that, boosting your, social media, your post. It's not me.
I keep telling you.
It matters. It really, really matters, what you do and how you invest in it.
And that was a big thing because a lot of people, they want to keep all their money. Say, hey, I'm going to use an example. Commission is $10,000. You should be spending, $3,500 at least, because that should be your marketing budget from that commission. And then that's what generates more revenue. And a lot of times people say, well, I need the $10,000 because, and they're not treating it like a business.
Well, just that weekend was $1,200.
Just that weekend was $1,200.
That weekend.
But you're going to generate 5 times that in a commission. And then what you're going to do is by creating that brand, creating that, the open house signs and the buzz, that now you're going to probably get not 1, but 2 or 3 extra deals, more transactions out of that. So now that $1,200 turns into, $30,000-$40,000.
Correct.
What are we talking about here?
Yep.
It's advertising. So this is really great. And then I have one more thing I want to talk about, which is you winning 30 under 30. So you were one of the 30 people that were under 30 years old in successful real estate, and you won that. So tell me about that moment where you were actually at the SDR Awards and you got to stand up and do that. Tell me about that.
I was shocked because I knew what I won top producer. They email you. Mm-hmm. Again, this was my first time applying to anything because my first year wasn't full time. So this was my first year actually, going to the awards and doing all this. So I was like, okay, I haven't heard anything for 30 and 30. I must have not got it. And we were just eating, listening to the words, and all of a sudden they said Reyna Jamison. I look at my dad, looked at my mom, did you hear that? What? I dropped my food. I'm like, oh my God. I was so excited, especially because this past year was my year I took the leap of faith and did real estate full time. Mm-hmm. And so it was a big jump and it was scary and it was really worth it. And it was especially getting those awards. I'm like, I did it. Okay, I can do it. It was really rewarding, especially being younger, mm-hmm. one of the younger ones, obviously, and more male-dominant career. It's like, yeah, I'm a boss bitch. I did it. It was just really, really, really exciting, and really, I was just really happy.
Good. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud. Cheers to that.
Yes.
Cheers to that. Great job, Reyna. You deserve it. That being said, what else you want to talk about? You got anything else on the agenda?
I don't know what else.
Support Reyna. Yay.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and what else am I on?
What's that handle look like? What is that?
What's that?
No, what's the handle? Is it a handle? What's a username? I don't know anything about it.
Oh, username, yeah.
Yeah. What's it?
Like handle.
I don't know. People say shit to me.
I was thinking of the ice cream spot. It's called Handles.
What?
So I was like, you want to get ice cream?
Oh, shit, I don't need ice cream, that's for sure.
You just threw me off. I was just craving that last night. But anyway.
Hey. So where can they find you? What's your little Instagram username and all that?
Queen of Real Estate 25.
Okay, that's an understatement of the century. Queen of Real Estate 25.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Check Reyna out.
Follow me if you trying to buy, sell, invest.
Invest,
Reach
partner.
Partner.
Uh-huh. You're an investor yourself?
Yes.
That a girl. Okay, well, hey, congrats. So proud of you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.